So, I'm taking a bit of a break from the Donkey Kong sets and player interviews to try and learn something with Umarth. A couple of days ago, we played a set, and I focused as hard as I possibly could, listening to music and having no distractions. So, in theory, this was my best play possible. So today, Umarth is going to tear it apart for education. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great.
All right, let's learn some things about how to play Puff versus Marth. Because
Awesome.
I suck at this matchup. I feel so bad against it at all times.
Yeah, when you start learning this matchup, it seems super difficult because of Mark's disjoint and insane ground movement. But Puff has a lot of tools that make it incredibly difficult for Mark to secure kills and to get openings, so we can go to that.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
We both missed the grab in opposite directions of each other.
Yeah. So I'm curious, so you missed the grab, yeah, both of us missed the grabs. Were you trying to up tilt here?
Was I trying to?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think I expected you to run in and was just trying to hit you with something. A lot of the times there's not a lot of thought that goes into what move I'm using because I don't know what's ideal in the situation, and it's more along the lines of I see an opportunity to hit, so let me throw out something.
Right. And that's exactly what we're here for, to like kind of optimize your choices there.
Right.
So in this case, you opt to do an up smash, but I encourage you to do something like an up tilt here because the reward is so much higher.
Right. I know up tilt and to rest is basically true.
Right, and so just as much as this up smash hit, up tilt had a pretty good chance of hitting, and it's not the riskiest thing for you to toss out either. So the risk reward is definitely worth it in this scenario to do an up tilt.
Okay.
So here, just you want to be really careful around Mart's just up tilt and forward smash range.
Mhm.
So after this down tilt, you kind of just stayed in place, kind of, and jumped.
Mhm.
I encourage you to just go to ledge or get to the side platform so that you're a little bit safer from those options.
Okay, I definitely felt it hasn't really come up yet, but like so heavily edge guarded against you at all times. Like I could not get back on stage in a way that I felt comfortable. Like I wasn't just going to get blasted off again immediately. So I think I was always nervous to go to the ledge, and I tried to stay away from it as much as possible because anytime I sort of went there, it felt like it was so hard to get back on.
Right. And some of that will come down to drift mix-ups, like move all the way to the left, see where I am, and then move all the way to the right. And that's what Jigglypuff really excels at. Her aerial mobility is by far the best in the game. Is coupled with all of her jumps, it can be really difficult to shark her and to edge guard her. So make sure you're mixing up when you go in and when you drift out in tricky ways.
Gotcha. Well, I know here is the grab chain, right? So I think,
Yeah.
let me just take a guess here. I'm just supposed to DI out of it, but I don't exactly know how.
Yeah, so you can kind of get out of it, but so Mart's grabs at pretty much every percent until like well past 100% is a true 50-50. So here you want to, okay, you technically always want to DI down and away, but that away switches. So if I were to, so I down throw you here and I get a regrab. If you DI down and to the right, you would have avoided any more regrabs.
I see. But then if you had thrown me left, I would have been DIing right into your combo. So that's why it's a 50-50.
And that's something like that happens here, or you just do no DI. It's hard for me to tell, but
Yeah, it was probably no DI. I'm not super used to doing it.
It's fast too, and that's ultimately what makes it a 50-50. Mart's forward, down throw, and up throw are all like, they happen in like so quickly that you can't react to the difference between the throws. So honestly, you just have to guess.
Right.
Which is what Marths are typically going to do. And if he whiffs a grab, then you can either rest him or grab him. So try that out more. At the same time, so now I have to explain like the complicated mix-up that Marth has. Marth can do a dash grab. If he does a dash grab super deep into Jigglypuff, then he can grab even a crouching Jigglypuff.
Okay.
Unless you spot dodge or wave dash, because a lot of Jigglypuff's wave dash animation is 100% ungrabbable.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so my ideal option there is to wave dash or spot dodge, or just to do something when I land, basically.
Yeah. Fully crouch, wave dash, spot dodge. Those are all great options.
Right. So what is the difference then? Because earlier you were approaching me from the right side, and I did up smash when up tilt would have been better, but an attack seemed ideal there. And now you're approaching me in what seems like the same situation, but this time the ideal thing to do is to avoid. So what is the difference between when I should be trying to hit you in that situation and when I should be trying to avoid?
So in the situation where you up smash, we were much further apart. So we were at like a frame neutral situation. So we were both at the same advantage, essentially. We could both get our attacks out at roughly the same time. And that's not the case here, and let's look at why. So here you're coming in with the back air, and I'm getting out of the way. I'm fully actionable. I can do any attack I want at this point. You're kind of locked into this back air. Right, and as you land, then you have your 7 or 8 frames of landing lag, assuming you L-canceled it, and then I'm coming in. So I'm at a frame advantage. I can choose whatever I want to do. You're kind of limited. You don't have very many frames to get an attack out, and you have barely enough to get a defensive option out, like crouch or wave dash or shield, if that answers your question.
Okay, so in like a basic sense, it's basically just about how much time I have to actually do the thing. Because in an ideal situation, obviously I would counter with an attack, but if I don't have the time to do that, I need to evade.
Exactly.
Okay.
And yeah, keep asking questions, because that gets both of our melee brain juices going.
Yeah, I'm just trying to sort of understand things, because like, I don't know, I think a lot of people start by like learning a ton of like the very basics and grinding them. But considering I never really did that, there's a lot of stuff that like I don't understand on a fundamental level that I sort of need.
Yeah, you've asked great questions so far, like really good questions.
You with the get up there. So I don't know, at this point, like I just don't know where to land or what to do, especially when you're below me, because it feels so awkward. Because like I feel like, I don't know, no matter where I land, you have the advantage.
Yeah. Okay, that's a pretty good question or concern. And so there's some ways to get better about that. So yeah, Umarth up tilts you, you're in the air, you're struggling to get back down, right? Land on the side platform. Ideally, you tech that,
right?
Or you jump.
Yeah, still working on Tekken.
That's okay. You know, you get to get an attack on me. This is okay. You sort of forced your way in here. See, you can have your approaches be kind of binary, like all in or all defensive, and that gets a little predictable. And this way, in this scenario, I think you're being a little too forward with your approach. So you just came in and you just continue drifting towards me, right?
Okay.
So based on that, I know exactly when to put my attack out.
Right, whereas if I drift in and out, I could potentially punish you for throwing something out too early.
Exactly, right.
That so could have been a rest.
Yeah, so you're shielding. So shielding, in when I see that, I'm thinking, all right, let me grab him. But like I mentioned earlier, Puff's wave dash just totally avoids grab, and jump is part of that animation. So a lot of her jump squat is completely ungrabbable. So that's what happens here.
I didn't even realize I did that. Oh, that's so sad that I didn't rest there. Look at that.
Yeah, it would be really hard to know this one. It happens so fast, but
yeah, and especially with Buffer, but
right. This is part of what makes Jigglypuff so good in this matchup versus Sheik, Falcon, as you mentioned.
Right. Well, I did land something, so I at least recognize that I had advantage there for a second.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm liking the back airs that you're doing here. So you get an opportunity there, you back aired. Could land with the back air there, that's okay. You could do a rising back air here while fading away. That's super safe. Puts out a hitbox, stops me from moving forward.
Okay. I think
alternatively, and I'm sure the air dodge is an input error, but if you input a back air there as well, that's another opening.
So on the ledge there earlier, right here. So I don't grab the ledge right away because I jumped over it. Is that what you're saying? Because you talked about that in like the very first game. And I sort of sometimes I have this issue where I don't immediately grab the ledge when I think I should. Like if you play it like to me it looks like here I grab it and then I drop and go for it again. And it feels like when I go for it the second time, like I'm rubbing against the side of the map and I'm facing the right direction. Why am I not grabbing it there?
Hmm. So the way that melee determines if you should snap to ledge or not is based off of your vertical velocity. So at this point, you're still moving upwards. So because you're moving upwards, game's like, okay, no grab ledge. But the moment your vertical velocity reaches 0 and you're in that like ledge grab area, then you'll snap to ledge. So here you're still too high, but as long as your vertical velocity is 0 or less than 0, then you can snap to ledge.
Oh, I did not know that. I don't know. Maybe you can explain to me. I don't know. You don't play Puff. It feels like it's so hard to keep myself facing a specific direction because I don't know exactly what turns me around. I understand when you jump from the ground, you jump the direction you're facing, but sometimes randomly in the air, and it doesn't seem to have anything to do with like how hard I hit the directional input button, I just turn around sometimes. And like there I'm falling and I definitely push the stick to be facing towards the stage and I end up facing the other direction. It's like I don't know what makes me face the direction that I want to be facing and why I sometimes randomly turn around in the air.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's important to figure that out. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to play Puff, but my guess is that it reads the direction you're holding on the analog stick prior to your jump. And so based on what you're pressing before the jump, that'll determine if it turns you around or not.
Okay.
So
when
maybe
I'm falling
like
this, so if you go back just like a bit when I'm falling,
yeah.
When I'm falling, do I have a direction that I'm facing already? Like at this point, am I already facing a direction? Because it's so impossible to tell because I'm just spinning. So I don't know which way I'm actually facing as I fall, you know?
Yeah, let's see. Okay, I can answer that question. So here, melee has you face your opponent after you get hit. So in this case, you're going to start facing to the right.
Okay, because you were to my right.
Yes.
Hit me. I mean, you were very barely to my right, so I don't know that I would have known that even if I knew this, but...
Yeah, it can happen really fast. But yeah, so even now, like you're in tumble, when you exit tumble, you will be facing right.
Right. Yeah, see, I just didn't know which direction I was facing, because when you're in tumble, you know, there's really no direction.
Just spinning around like this.
Does that mean that I'm facing that direction? Can I spin that way if I'm facing the other direction?
I wonder. I don't know.
Huh. All right.
But
yeah, well, what got me killed there for sure was I thought I would end up facing the ledge when I came out of tumble. I did not, and then you just smashed me and killed me.
Yeah, but now you know, like if you get
right,
like there, that should be the cue to you to know that you're facing to the right.
Okay, I understand that.
You can untumble by like wiggling the control stick left and right really quickly.
Yeah, well, I tried to do that right as I got to the ledge, so that I would grab it, but then I was facing the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
yeah, so you're a little bit too high, and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna grab ledge. I think you jumped again, and I forward smashed that.
Oh, so close.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions or things you're unsure about, or?
Not really. I feel like when you break it down, it makes sense, and I like look at every individual thing. I can say, okay, I understand why I got shit on when I break it down like this. But during the game, I feel like there's so many things going on that it makes it very difficult to consider all of these variables and make it possible to do well with all of them. So I guess it's just going to come down to a ton of practice. Because in reality, I've probably played a total of like 15 games against Umarth. That's like my entire history of playing against that character. So I definitely don't have the time in it.
Right. Yeah, you're totally right. It comes down to like the more practice and experience you'll have in the matchup, the more you'll improve at it. But after having done this analysis, you have some tools to work on that should like speed up that process.
All right. Well, thank you for the coaching, sir. It is your time to plug what you do, Twitter, Twitch, whatever you have going on.
Okay. I don't do much on Twitch. On YouTube, I upload videos. I don't know my YouTube link, but
I'll link it in the description. Don't worry.
okay, perfect. And then yeah, follow me on Twitter. I say stuff once in a while. That's about it.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me.